All right. I think we've got this set up. Let's give some people a little bit of time to get in here. So those of you guys who are watching this was recorded live. It is about 10 o'clock, Monday, March 4th. And this is my first live that I've ever done. Actually, I started one last night, had some technical difficulties. So we are starting over again tonight. And I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to check the comments. I'm going to go back through and see anything. So I all of the comments right on my phone here. I'm pretty good at responding to them as soon as I can. So encourage you to watch the whole video and throw your comments in there, and I will do my best to reply to them as I can. So um, as you saw, if you clicked on the clickbait title, got an idea, something I've been kicking around, maybe something that I want to do, do some major changes up with the truck. We're going to get to this in a minute, but yeah. So I'm going to give people a little bit of time to get in here, and if not, we're just going to go ahead and start going with this, and hopefully people watch it going later on. One of the things I've also thought about, I got some pretty positive feedback on the last video. A couple comments, a couple people messaged me directly, and that was just the kind of the one take that I did. It was kind of a whiskey, and I've done some coffee one takes before, and so I've got some positive feedback on those. And so I think what I might be doing in the future is doing this maybe once a month. We'll find a topic and I can research it. You guys can do some research, come together, and we'll just discuss it in a live format. So um, we throw stuff in the comments like that, and I'll do my best to kind of keep an eye on that. I've got a screen off to my left here, this here, and I got some notes in front of me. So I think this would be a good way to go about it. Let's see. How's the audio and everything sounding? I've only done this once before, so let me know in the comments there how it's sounding. And let me know where you guys are from. I don't need an exact address or anything, but just kind of part of the country. I'm from right now. I live in Toledo, Ohio. It's maybe not the best spot for overlanding, but it's a good spot to live. I think overall, pretty close to a lot of different things. And yeah, I can't say where we're going, but I'm planning a trip next week with my daughter. It's her birthday, and it's a big surprise for everybody in the family. So just in case any of them are watching this, can't say where we're going, but it is a lot easier to get to places other than where I was up in Sault Ste. Marie. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. And what I was talking about in this video, what I want to talk about is thinking about maybe completely starting over with my truck build, maybe take just about everything off and start over. A lot of the stuff on there has been really good. I've enjoyed it. Some of it needs a little bit of work, and some stuff I've noticed I like the idea, but the actual product could be better. And so, one thought I've had just pull everything off, stick it in the garage, and totally start over. You know, but I'm not sure exactly the best way to do that. So some of the ideas that I've had, and I really want to make sure I plan this out because I think that's what got me into trouble where I'm at right now is that I've got so many different options or so many different things that I've added over the years is that it's not one cohesive unit right now. And there's a lot of things that I've got a lot of wires just kind of run everywhere. When I put one light in, I ran a wire, put another light in, ran another wire. So I would like to get everything in one, put it in at one time, plan it out. So um, the first thought I had was maybe just leave everything the same, use all the same parts, either take it off or just tweak it and get it to what I was hoping it to be. That would obviously be the most cost effective, probably I don't know if the least amount of work, but probably one of the easier ways to do it. So that's one method. And part of the reason I wanted to do this live stream to get everybody's opinions on this. So if you do have opinions, throw them in the chat, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on that, see if anybody says anything. But I want to see how this goes, what your opinions are, if you've done one of these things or not. So first option would be basically keep it the same, the low height rack, which I really enjoy that rack. It's perfect height. I'm still able to get in out of I get into the garage with it. I can do a lot of other things, drive-throughs, anything that I can get my truck underneath the tent on there will fit. And I do enjoy that about it, especially on narrow short trails with lots of tree coverage and everything. It's nice to not have to worry about ripping your tent off the top of the truck. The next option would be to go to like a full height, or like a cab height rack, and then I'd have the tent on top. That'd be another 6 or 8 inches up there, so I'd lose some gas mileage, lose other things like that, but I would gain a lot more space. Because the problem with the short rack is that trying to put some tall things in there, like I was going to get like a chest freezer the other day, but it wouldn't fit underneath the rack, so we were kind of SOL there. Other thoughts I've had with that, maybe if I do full height rack, I could do like a drawer system or a slider. So whether I do like a deck drawer or a slider or build my own, something like that to maximize the storage in the bed of the truck. That's an option there that I'm thinking maybe. There's a couple other different brands. I've been happy with Extrusion Overland. That's the bed rack brand that's on there right now. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if you've got a recommendation for a rack, let me know in the comments there. The next option would be just to do a soft top only. I've seen like the one brand I've seen is soft topper. There's other canvas ones out there I know of, and I've always kind of been intrigued by that. I don't know if that's the military side of me because that's what our LMTVs, the big deuce and a half or whatever they used to be called, those had the soft sides on it. It was just kind of fun riding back there. But one of the issues I know in the military was they were not waterproof and they weren't super secure. And so that's something I'm worried about with that. So if anybody's ever run a soft topper, let me know. Was it waterproof? And did you ever have any issues with people getting in there? I mean, obviously, if it's just canvas like that, it's pretty easy. Take a knife, chop it, cut it open, whatever. But with that, I wouldn't have a rooftop tent, so I'd have to do a ground tent, which I've got at least 2 ground tents. I've got hammocks, I've got all kinds of stuff like that. So that wouldn't be that big of an issue, but I don't know, maybe that would be kind of fun because then I could just go anywhere. It'd be a little bit more incognito, wouldn't look like the overlander going to the mall kind of thing. The other option I could do with that is a soft topper with a rack. And what I like about the soft topper is I get all of that space in there. Everything's protected. I don't want to have stuff keep getting wet. So that's one of the things I definitely need to. If I stay with what I've got, I need to redo it, and that's my fault. I didn't put enough weather sealing down. Um, the Paragon bed cover, it has a weather strip on it, but it's not meant to have the, the brackets for the rack actually go underneath the weather stripping, and so it doesn't have enough weather sealing or anything like that. It wasn't designed for it, so that's one thing I definitely need to tweak with it. And I think maybe the soft topper would fix that problem. I don't know. Maybe that's an option. I think that the soft topper would definitely be one of the more cheaper ones, probably. The other option I thought of was maybe going to a hard, like, grandpa style cap. I've heard people call them, like an AR is it ARE? Yeah, ARB is the other one. So ARE or Lear or something like that. Anybody know how much weight those can hold? That might be an issue if I'm trying to put a rooftop tent on something that can't hold much weight. So that was one thought I had, was maybe do a cap, and maybe I could do the cap only, keep with I could even do the drawer system in there, lots of space, and then I could do, just ground tents, hammocks, stuff like that. That would be one option, or I could try to get one that's rated for, I don't know, 500 pounds maybe, and you get a rooftop tent on there. I know my tent weighs 70 pounds, 100 pounds, something like that. And then you get 2 or 3 adults up there. I guess 2 adults and 2 kids is what we've got right now. So that would probably easily be, I'd want probably 500 pounds or more weight on that. Um, and the other option that I thought of was maybe take everything off, just go back to a normal truck and try to get a camper, whether that's an off-road style camper or something a little bit bigger. That is the issue with a rooftop tent, is you are limited in space. We noticed that with us this last trip we went on, especially with my wife and I and our 2 kids. It was getting really tight up there. Just my wife and I, or I'm sure just my daughter and I when we go, there'll be plenty of room up there. But once you start getting 2 kids rolling around and everything, you run out of space pretty quick. So the camper, we borrowed my in-laws camper for a trip in October, and that was pretty nice, especially because it was October in northern Michigan. It was cold and rainy. Turn the heater on. We were able to cook inside. We didn't care what was going on outside. Actually, we had to crack the window because it was getting too hot in there. So yeah, if you have any suggestions on this, throw it in the comments. So for those of you who've tuned in, options stay the same. Make some tweaks to what I'm currently running. Maybe add a couple new things. Go with a full height cab height rack. Maybe throw a drawer system in the back. Do some sliders. Whether that's something I rebuild the one that I've got, it's in pretty decent shape, but or go with a commercial metal one that holds more weight. The next option would be to go with a soft topper, one of those canvas style ones, and just do that with a ground tent. I could do a drawer system in there too. I think that would be pretty cool. And I could do that with soft top or a hard cap, or I could do a soft top with a rack systems over top of it. I know for sure Extrusion Overland has that. I'm sure other people do too. And a rooftop tent. That would probably give me the most options because then I could start mounting more things on the side. That or the full height rack. I could get an awning. I could get more stuff for water, all that kind of stuff on there, or do a hard cap and try to find one that's strong enough for a tent. Ideally, I'd love to go with something. I guess maybe with that you could put the Alucab style stuff in there. Those are so expensive though. I think they're like 15 grand for one of those. So probably outside of my budget, unless you are one of the few people watching Alucab, send one over my way. Throw that in the comments. I'd love to put one of those on my truck, but or a camper. So I've said this a bunch of times. Throw it in the comments. Really want to see what you guys have to say here. Um, I'm not an expert in everything. I know what I've been running. I know what's worked, what hasn't worked. That's the only setup I've ever had. I've never done any of these other ones. So if you know for sure one of these is good, one of these is bad. You've run it in the past. Love to hear your thoughts on this. And like I said earlier, if you missed it, I check the comments. I get them all on my phone and everything. So if you comment on here later, then I will definitely try my best to get back to you. So also, if you think this is a good idea and you want to do more of these, let me know. I think that this would be kind of a cool way to share what I've learned. That's one of the things I wanted to do with this channel was to share knowledge that I've gained, mistakes I've made, so you guys don't have to do it. And I think it'd be a cool way to show some of that stuff off. So if there's anything that you think would be a cool live stream topic, let me know in the comments down below, and I will do my best to accommodate that. So it's been a long day. I'm holding this up like it's anything but water. It's in a rocks glass, so it's kind of get a toast or something. But all right, I'm gonna call it there for tonight, and you guys have a great night.